Welcome to Phocuswright's innovation platform. Please welcome to the online stage, Phocuswright's Managing Director, Pete Como.
Welcome to Phocuswright Innovation. Wow, what a difference a year makes. For those of you who did not participate in the Young Leaders Summit or in the Diversity and Leadership Program, welcome to the Phocuswright Conference Online 2020. On behalf of the entire Phocuswright team, we appreciate you taking time out of your day and weeks to join us, and we wish we were with you in Phoenix. But as the state of our world dictates, we're going to have to make the best of technology to bring us together to see the hottest new travel startups and discuss and debate how we can best navigate the current time and prepare for a recovery, which we all know will come, just not when. Whether you are joining us live or replaying this event at a time more convenient for you, we are thrilled to have you tuning in. For some of you, this is day 3 out of 6. We kicked off the Phocuswright Conference with our Young Leaders Summit this past Tuesday, where 35 of our industry's brightest future stars came together to network and map out our industry's future. Then yesterday, we produced our Diversity and Leadership Program, which brought together leaders who are impacting change in their organizations as well as our industry on topics ranging from anti-bias and allyship, recruitment, diversity and inclusion, and more. A big thanks to Google for sponsoring diversity and leadership, as well as the Expedia Group and the UN Women's Solidarity Movement for Gender Equality for their support and organizing 2 amazing workshops, which some of you were able to participate in. We have over 1,000 of you registered and tuned in to see some of the most exciting innovations sourced from a qualified pool of over 1,200 companies in our State of Startups database. Our analyst team applied a rigorous screening process to identify a diverse set of 14 of the best startups covering airline tech, biometrics, hospitality, insurance, corporate travel, and distribution. The startups who will pitch during Summit have been hand-selected from Phocuswire's Hot 25 Startups 2021 by our editorial and analyst teams. We spend weeks identifying those companies whose business models and technologies are primed to succeed due to their positioning up against current marketplace trends. I'd also like to acknowledge Salesforce for their support and sponsorship of our Hot 25 startups. Innovation Day begins with our Summit and Launch programs. These startups have been prepped by our team here at Phocuswright with over 50 collective years of experience with startups and emerging technology. They've been coached on how to develop their pitch so you, the audience, can get a solid sense of their businesses as well as their market opportunity and potential. You can also submit questions during their pitches, and you can also upvote other questions. If we cannot get to your question, you can pose it directly to the innovator during the Meet the Innovator session, which happens at the end of the day today. All of you will have the opportunity to vote on your favorite Summit and Launch presenter. So take notes and participate in the polls, which we will post just after each session, and you can vote on your favorite innovator. After the pitches, we will have 30 minutes of programming featuring the post-game wrap-up panel, which is a discussion with our dragons where we will discuss the companies and technologies that we saw today, plus widen our lens to the broader marketplace. The program will conclude with an award ceremony and a Meet the Innovator session where you can meet with any or all of the innovators who pitched today. So don't be shy about joining the Meet the Innovator rooms. They are all eager to share more detail on their company and their products, and you should all be thinking about how you can utilize their technology and integrate it into your businesses. Summit and Launch are just 2 components of Phocuswright innovation. From the event side, we have battleground events in core global regions, and the winners of each are promoted to the stages of our regional and global events. We also produce launch competitions at each of our conferences, where companies who are older than 5 years launch new technologies and innovation. We also have a number of partnerships in place with associations and other event producers, such as VRMA and the World Aviation Festival, where we bring startups and our pitch production on the road. And lastly, on the event side, we work with our sister company, WIT, to bring innovation programming to the Asia Pacific events. And lastly, it's not all about pitching. Our startup program has become an extremely popular event. In fact, we decided to pull it away from this conference this year, and instead we'll be producing it as a standalone event in early February on our soon-to-be rolled-out community platform, Travel Tech Nation's Leaders. On the research side, we've built a database of over 3,000 travel startups founded since 2005, which we've hand-curated into industry vertical and horizontal. We've made this database available to our open access research customers through our Focal Point visualization platform. And finally, on the Phocuswright side of the business, we cover startups in so many different ways. So we feature them on our startup stage. We curate the Hot 25 startup list each year in the fourth quarter, which actually was just released earlier this week. And we've recorded nearly 50 episodes of the How I Got Here podcast, which features stories from startup founders and has developed quite a following. So stop by and listen to episode 48, which features Tobias Rage, who's the current CEO and a member of the founding family of HRS. This was just posted a couple of weeks back. We use all of this data and content to inform how we choose which startups to feature on our stages. And over the past 10 plus years, we've screened thousands of companies, placed over 500 of them on our stages. 350 of them have collectively raised $4.2 billion in funding, and 88 of them have been acquired. We are thrilled to have some fantastic patrons that support our innovation activities. So thanks to Amex GBT, as well as Travel Tech Nation's Leaders, who are great supporters of everything Phocuswright innovation. So what is the current state of travel startups? Well, we looked at over 2,500 digital travel startups founded since 2010, who collectively raised over $25 billion in funding during that time frame. Here, we're looking at some of the findings from our latest annual State of Travel Startups report. For travel startups founded since 2010, funding has been growing in significant double digits practically every year in the last decade. 2019 was by far the biggest year in history for travel startups in terms of dollars raised, jumping from $5.4 billion in 2018 to $7.3 billion in 2019. And the first quarter of 2020 started out very strong with more than $800 million raised, although $500 million of that was just by one corporate travel startup, TripAction. So 2020 began with really good potential, but naturally, as the pandemic set in, funding activity has decreased. Through the first half of the year, there was just under $2 billion raised, and at that pace, 2020 will fall far short of 2019. A few highlights: Sonder, Omio, KKday, all raised during the pandemic. So let's move on to our summit program, the platform for the most promising travel startups. How do we evaluate which companies have the best chance to succeed? We look at technology innovation, business innovation, market opportunity, the ability of the founder to sell his or her concept, quality of the team, and lastly, the potential to create true breakthrough value in the industry. This is a criteria that the judges and dragons will use to score the companies, and as you decide who to vote for audience choice, you should consider these points. We have a fantastic group of dragons this year, representing all sides of the travel industry. First up, TRACI MERCER, SVP Marketplace Segment at Sabre. Eric Blatchford, Venture Partner, Technology Crossover Ventures. Ellen KESZLER, CEO Clear Sky Associates. And last but never the least, Philip Wolf, founder of Phocuswright. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the companies that will be pitching during our summit program. Vouch, Check-In, Air Doctor, Valara, Be Right Back, Smoose, Voyage, Kite, TripKicks, and TrueFace.